For the poor, the elevator stops functioning because it's not well looked after enough. And so what you end up with is the worst of all possible worlds, which is high-rise living, but without the thing, the elevator, that's meant to make the high-rise work.
Elevators that aren't maintained properly and constantly break down or are vandalized can become a bad joke when you live in a multi-story tower. But it's no joke climbing the stairs. Yet we can't live without elevators. What more can we aim for? Constructing ever taller buildings presents logistical challenges, with thousands of people moving around daily, all expecting a speedy, reliable elevator at the touch of a button. Smart buildings now and in the future will have intelligent elevators that monitor the flow of people and lift journeys. Then maintenance can be planned for quiet times, and potential problems predicted and solved before they become a crisis. But there's another hidden problem looming that could have a profound effect on the way we build up in the future. Have you ever been aware of a super tall building swaying in the wind? It can be imperceptible, or in strong winds, really quite noticeable.
Buildings are like really dynamic. The higher you go, the more subjected to kind of wind forces and sway and torsion and all things like that. So they actually need to be able to react to that. They are not rigid things in the way that we think of them. They're swaying and twisting and turning.
And it's not just the building. The elevator shafts inside it move too. It's another consideration that keeps architects awake at night.
The trade-off with building ever taller buildings is that you need to find increasingly ingenious ways of getting those people up the top. And so elevator design in these modern super tall buildings, there seems to be a sort of physical limit on how tall of an elevator that we can build.
Where the elevator shafts are situated in the building makes a difference.
The elevator also presents a design difficulty for architects, which is the question of where you put the elevator. Do you put the elevator in the middle? And once you do that, you create a core around which buildings are going to be arranged. Or do you put the elevator on the outside, which then creates all sorts of other problems? So there is a way in which the function of the elevator and the form of the elevator begins to dictate the wider function and form of the building.
And then there's the whole other problem of people who simply can't get into an elevator however high up it's going.
I've come across people who won't go in elevators. They've developed a phobia about it because, they think something bad is going to happen. So that's kind of excessive fear that something terrible is going to happen. Now, sometimes that can be as a result of something did happen, somebody did get stuck in a lift, because, elevators can get stuck. And therefore that's a rational fear. You've actually been in that situation and you felt claustrophobic, you felt you couldn't get out, you couldn't escape. But there are other people who've also learned those behaviours from hearing other people's stories.
What if the lift is outside? Perhaps that might be even more scary for some people. The highest outdoor elevator in the world is in a national park in China. Taking the long double-deck elevator journey is the only way to reach a particular viewing platform. But for most people who think nothing of stepping into an elevator, there's an unseen danger to themselves that we're only just beginning to investigate. Today, living at height can bring a certain kudos. Apartment blocks with great views and large picture windows to enjoy them can fetch top dollar prices in a competitive property market.
The elevator becomes a symbol of the modern world. It becomes a sign that you are part of the modern world, and it proves highly attractive to the very rich who want to live in these high-rise apartments.
But there may be a hidden danger, an insidious effect on people's health, working and living at height. Researchers at the University of Bath are investigating the physical effects and possible harm done by low-frequency motion. It can cause Sopite syndrome, which is a kind of motion sickness, bringing lethargy and drowsiness.
It's a sort of motion that we use when we rock babies to sleep. So it's sort of inbuilt in the human response. And so we really need to understand what the cause of that is and what the onset of that is and how we can prevent that from happening.
All right, Bernie.
The new research is eagerly anticipated by architects and planners.